Hello, my name is Mara, and welcome to Books Like Whoa. Okay, so hi. Today is a weird video or a random video because I wanted to do something to celebrate my 2-year Booktube anniversary, and I also have been getting a lot of requests recently to do like a get ready with me thing. So I thought I would just combine the two. I'm gonna have some makeup playtime. This could turn out awful. I will make no representations as to the look that we're gonna get out of this because I've got 3 new palettes, and I have not bought a palette or any eyeshadow at all since probably maybe last August. It's been a hot minute. So I've got 3 new palettes that I recently got. One is the Just My Luck from Colourpop because I needed to place like a replacement order, so I decided to get something fun in it. I pre-ordered and finally got the Whalesong palette from Menagerie Cosmetics. Their manufacturer screwed them over, so this took a lot longer, but it's like so beautiful. It was definitely worth the wait. And then to support one of my all-time favorite queens, I did go ahead and buy the Alyssa Edwards Anastasia Beverly Hill palette because I had a coupon and some points. So I decided to get this, which is very bright, very fun. So yeah, so I'm gonna play with these. I have been watching a lot of Teresa is Dead and Smoky Glow recently, and they've been playing a lot with yellows and greens. So I think that's kind of what I'm gonna do here. So anyway, all that to say, I don't know what this look is gonna turn out like. We're just gonna kind of go with it. Also, before I even get into this, I do just need to say, I don't think that I am like amazing at makeup. That is not, this is not a tutorial. This is not me saying like I'm good at makeup. This is just, I like makeup, and if you watch my channel, you can tell I enjoy bright makeup whenever I get the chance to wear it, which is not very often these days just with my job. So not saying that I'm great at makeup. Like, please don't come at me in the comments saying like, I don't know why she's doing a get ready with me because she's shit at this. I'm not saying that I'm not. I just enjoy it. I'm gonna have fun, and we're gonna talk about the fact that I've been on Booktube for 2 years. I don't know, this could be a total hot mess garbage video. We'll just find out. Also, probably if you don't like rambly videos, don't watch this because I have literally no idea what I'm gonna say. Anyway, with all of that out of the way, let's start beating my face. So, Booktube, yeah, I've been on here for 2 years now. My first video went up on July 1st of 2017. I'm priming my face with my Belif Aqua Bomb moisturizer. I don't really use primer very often anymore. Yeah, so that was over 2 years ago now, and I'm trying to remember, like, cast my mind back. That was a very dark time in my life, just with like, I've talked about this quite a bit on this channel, but a friend of mine had died very unexpectedly about 6 months prior, and my father was in the middle of a very intensive cancer treatment, and I was so stressed out. I was having health problems as well, wasn't happy in my job, and to top it all off, I lived in a city where none of the friends that I had were book people. And when I had been in grad school, if you go to grad school for anything like a liberal art, you will know this, but in a lot of ways, grad school is sort of like glorified book club. Like, a lot of what you're doing is reading the same things and like writing papers about it and talking about it with your professor and fellow students. So I just like really missed having a lot of like book kind of talk in my life. I don't know, I'd been really into YouTube. I'd gotten into YouTube while I was in grad school because I was broke as a joke and was looking for like free content because I didn't have any kind of TV. So I'd watched it some, but then like I got really into beauty YouTube the previous year, and I'd like toyed around with like doing some like review channel type things with beauty products, but like it is savage out there for the beauty YouTubers. Like, people are super harsh, and especially if you're overweight, like that's a journey. So I decided that I didn't want to do that, but I'd also, you know, like the previous year, I'd also gotten more into like book related content, and I was like, oh, well, this might be a great way to essentially like have some online community at least of like bookish conversation, because I was just really missing that from my day-to-day life. Oh, I'm using dip brow. Did I mention that? Today's gonna be a dip brow kind of day, because if I'm gonna have a bold eye look, I need some like out there brows to go with it. Yeah, so I'd kind of decided that in the spring of 2017. And I think I luckily didn't do all that much research into like the ins and outs of the fullness of the booktube community, because I think I might have been a little intimidated, kind of the way I was with beauty YouTube. Like I was like, oh, I understand enough about this to like realize I shouldn't do it. I don't think I did that with booktube because I was much more of a casual booktube watcher at that point, but I started watching more of it, was getting more into it. And so I decided in the spring I was going to do this, and I picked July 1st as my first day. And I remember deciding that I should do 30 days of content. So like that first month I put up 30 videos because I just realized like I wanted there to be a decent amount of content on my channel pretty quickly. I don't know. I think it just helped. It's a little, I kind of, you know what it was? I don't know that I could have explained this at the time, but I think I knew that you kind of have like a ramp up period when you're starting a YouTube channel. Like you have to kind of figure out what the fuck you're doing. And I didn't want to like drag that out over months. I kind of want to just create a lot of content, get comfortable with like how you edit and like what you need to like film, and just like kind of getting through the mechanics of it, and also just getting comfortable on camera, because that is definitely, I think, one of the sort of biggest like things you have to do if you're gonna be a YouTuber of any kind, is getting comfortable being yourself on camera. I think figuring out what version of yourself you're going to be on camera, because I don't think anybody is 100% consistent in terms of like the way they act and kind of how they present themselves 100% of the time. And I think part of being a YouTuber is you have to figure out kind of like what being yourself means for you on your channel. So I think that was actually a really good decision, because I think I cycled through some of my puberty or like childhood of being a YouTube creator pretty quickly. Like I figured out what kinds of videos I liked to make. I figured out kind of the types of content that maybe I would be better suited to making as opposed to other people. Yeah, like I think that was a good choice. And you know, I think I was getting like 10 views on those. It's not like, it wasn't like a lot of people were watching, but that's kind of the point, is that while you still have, I think maybe I hit double-digit subscribers in that first month, who even knows? I don't remember now. While you're still sort of like a baby YouTube channel, you can kind of figure out what you want to do. So I pre-filmed a bunch of things in like May and June and was editing them and figuring that out. And I started posting on July 1st, and my birthday is July 2nd. Every year. That was a dad joke. There you go. And it was my 30th birthday that year. And it was probably the worst birthday I've ever had, because I was so anxious about everything that was going on that like I couldn't relax. And it was right before my dad was going to get this big treatment that was basically going to determine like his lifespan. And so like I went home for my birthday, and like our entire house was just like so tense. Like we were all like crying when other people weren't around, because we don't cry in front of each other in my family. So it was just like a super tense environment that was like the opposite of birthday celebratory. But in the midst of all that, I started posting and very slowly got engagement. And I remember Snyder B Books was one of the first people who ever subscribed to me, and she was so supportive, and she like specifically was encouraging me and saying like, I think you have something different you're bringing to YouTube, like don't give up, keep going, this is really like good. And I look back and I know that my early content wasn't all that good, so like I just really appreciate her, how supportive she was to me kind of in that initial period. But I found that I really enjoyed it. And it was exactly, the other thing is that I write. Like that's one of my hobbies besides reading is I've always been a writer, but I've been so blocked since I left grad school. So I didn't have any kind of like creative outlet. And I quickly realized, I'm using the Clown White in this just to set my primer, because I am a ghost and therefore can use Clown White to do such things. It'll also help some of the colors pop a little bit better, I think. But anyway, yes, so she was so encouraging and really, kind of her, along with some of the other folks early on who were commenting, really gave me the confidence to keep going. And I found it just like so creatively fulfilling. Like it was scratching that itch that I had to express myself or to be creative, and also like to find kind of bookish related community. I'm gonna start by going in with this Brick Road color, this yellow color, which is like clown yellow. So I started going, and at first it was just the way that it always is when you start a channel. I mean, I was slowly, picking up subscribers here or there. I think by the end of 2017, I had maybe like a couple of hundred, maybe like 300. And then in 2018, I really felt like I kind of found my groove more and started actually like really getting some traction in terms of figuring out what kind of content I wanted to make, you know, kind of getting involved in the community more and figuring out how, just, I don't know, by virtue of the fact of like commenting on people's stuff or people watching my stuff and then, you know, starting to watch theirs, you know, started picking up some community, some like real community. I think that spring is when I started really connecting more with like Bethany at Beautifully Bookish Bethany, and I think we were doing like a Witchlands read along, along with Leanna from Leanna's Library and Amanda at the Naughty Librarian. I'm just building up this yellow color. I'm gonna blend over it eventually, but I'm building it up right now. So on camera, it's not quite as crazy. In real life, this is bright. So anyway, we started doing that chat, and I think getting in with that little group. Also, Lauren at the Novel Lash was supposed to be in there, but she's never actually like really shown back up in that chat. But started connecting with her, and I think, you know, I started finding kind of like some of my people on Booktube, which I think is definitely like a big step in enjoying the creative process, is both finding your more public community in terms of like, you know, I started at that point having a lot of the commenters who still to this day will comment on my stuff and who I know and who have been with me for, you know, years at this point, or I meant 2 years, but like have been with me for, let's say, like 18 months at this point. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to figure out which green. So I'm wanting to do like, I need to get kind of like a mid-tone green up through my crease, and then I want like a dark emeraldy green and the outer V. So I think in my crease, I think I'm gonna use this Kiss My Haas shade from the Just My Look palette. Now, I think this does have some micro glitters in it. Why companies put these micro glitters into mattes, I will never know, because they don't show up and they just are fallouty and annoying, but such is the state of life. So I think I'm going to use this as my, like, in my crease color, and then I think I'm going to go back in with this Whalesong palette and use maybe like this Reef color or this Bubble Net color in the outer V. We'll see. Yeah, so like I've had some of the, I started getting some of the commenters who have, ooh, yes, bitch, I like that. Okay. I started finding some of the commenters who have been with me for a long time now and who, like, I recognize, like, I feel like we have like a acquaintance at least level relationship. Like that's how I got to be you know, more connected with someone like Dane at Dane Reads. Like he and I have done a couple of buddy reads together. You know, it was a good sort of like growth period. But then towards the end of 2018, I really like, I think I got a couple of strategic shout outs, and then I was in the Poptimist's wrap up, like his Booktuber Awards. I think at the time, I'd already hit 1,000 subscribers. I think I was around like 17 or 1,800. But when that happened, I think probably in like late October, November timeframe, I really started getting traction. And since then I've grown a lot. So I've had a lot of new people coming in, which is cool because like I'm starting to, you know, kind of build up some of that rapport with some folks who came in from that era and getting to know them and kind of, you know, having an acquaintance at least level kind of back and forth with folks. But now, you know, I have some videos. It's been interesting, I think, this last, let's say, 6 months of being on Booktube, because I've had a lot of growth and a lot of really cool, you know, opportunities from that and things that I'm excited for you guys to find out in terms of like events and kind of like partnering with publishers and things like that. Like you guys will continue to see some stuff around that on my channel, which is really cool and like exciting, and you know, I enjoy that. But so like from that I have opportunities and I have like new regular viewers coming in all the time, and I'm really enjoying that piece. Probably should have just gone ahead and used this in my crease, but I wasn't sure. Okay, let's dip into this Bubble Net. Okay, yeah, that's more what I was thinking. I'm not mad at this. This is kind of fun. So like I've enjoyed getting more kind of regular folks into the channel. That is fun and enjoyable, and like what, you know, what I got on here to do of like, you know, meeting new people with regular tastes. But what also comes along with that is more what I would say like kind of drive-by viewers. So people who may only see like 1 or 2 videos from me ever. Like some of my better performing ones are sort of more like utilitarian type videos. You know, if I can remember, I'll link, what's her name? She did one of the good reviews about Zenith. I think her name is Jordan maybe. Anyway, I'll link a video she did. I think she did a really good job of laying out like there's different types of videos you make as a creator. Some of them are regular content, like regular features, like wrap ups. Some of them are reviews, which are sort of more like evergreen content that's not necessarily going to get you a ton of views off the bat, but like is an important part of maintaining your channel. Kind of not where I thought this was going to go, but I'm not mad at it. And then you also have sort of views, like ways to get new viewers in. So like addressing topics. So like, for instance, one of the ones that really does this for me, which I didn't really think about at the time, but two, you know, I have a series of sort of reviewing subscription services, and two very high performing videos for me is Kindle Unlimited worth it, and is Book of the Month Club worth it. And I think that's one way I get new viewers, like recurring viewers, but it's also an occasion for me to get kind of like one-offy viewers. Same for my Agatha Christie series. I think I get people who find me that way and like become regular viewers. And I routinely hear people saying, oh, I started watching your Poirot reviews and that's how I found your channel. But I also get to sort of like drive by people who are looking for a review on that specific book. And from that, you do start to get more what I would call non-constructive criticism, or just sort of weird comments that make you uncomfortable. And I let a lot of them stand, but some of them get like personal attacky. So I definitely have noticed I guess all of that to say, I have noticed the bigger I get, it does make me somewhat sad because it's harder to connect with like viewers that I have been connecting with for a very long time, just because I have a lot more comments, and so it's just harder to get to people in the way that I honestly really like to and really enjoy doing. I'm thinking that maybe what I'm gonna do is find a shimmer to pop kind of here in the middle to help break up all of this matte, and then maybe I'll blend out with one of these lighter greens. But see, this is I felt like this is kind of a cool toned look, which I wasn't really planning on. Okay, I think maybe I'm gonna go in with this Mary Jane shimmer in the Colourpop, because I think it's either that or Fluke. I think this is closer to yellow, so it's probably gonna blend a little bit better. I could do that or a gold, no, let's stick with green. Okay, so I'm gonna use that because it's sort of a yellowy green, and we'll blend this out. It is, I guess all that to say, it is a little, you know, it makes me a little sad because I feel like I can't connect as deeply with as many people as I would like. And that's just like kind of part of the deal. Yes, this was a good choice. Okay. You know, you kind of got to take the good with the bad. And I do feel like I have more hate, I think gets used too glibly online. Like, oh, they're haters, or like, that's a hate comment. And I don't, because I don't think, I've gotten very few comments that I think were genuinely like what I would consider to be hateful. Yeah, that was a good choice. You can't tell as much on camera, but in person, this was a good blending choice to kind of make this a little more dimensional. So yeah, you can't, like, it's not that there's very few things that I get that I think are actually hateful and that I actually end up like hiding my users from channel over, because I'm just like, I don't want to deal with this. But I do get, I think, a lot more comments that I would consider to be kind of just like non-constructive. So like maybe they're not hateful, but they're also just sort of, why did you feel the need to do this? I also get a lot more tone policing now than I used to, which I just have kind of, I don't respond to those mostly. And honestly, sometimes some of my viewers will respond on my behalf and I'm like, cool, you guys got this. But like, something that I struggle with just like in my general communication is I, for whatever reason, communicate very confidently. So like, even if I'm not sure about something, this is actually something I've had to work on at work in particular. Like the way I talk about things, it tends to communicate that I am very sure about something. I think sometimes when I'm doing, especially more like controversial videos, I'm stating my opinion, and like, I'm very comfortable with people disagreeing with me. Like, I don't, you know, just my opinion, whatever, come at, like, I like hearing engagement and debates, but sometimes I get comments that are not actually referencing what I've said. They're referencing the fact that I am communicating in a way that it sounds too authoritative, basically, I think is what it comes down to. Some of that I frankly think is either misogyny or internalized misogyny, because I think that people can be uncomfortable with women having that level of just like confidence in communication. But some of it I think is also just like something that I'm aware of and try to address, particularly in my professional life, which is just because like I'm coming strong or like coming across very like forthrightly or with confidence, it doesn't necessarily mean that I think that I'm 100% right. And I think people who watch me longer term probably know that. Or like, I don't know, maybe they never thought about it who's spending this much time actually thinking about me? That is narcissism. But I think people who are more casual viewers or like find me through kind of like one of the videos that, you know, breaks out a little bit, I think sometimes they maybe don't know that about me. And so I don't know, then we get into the situation where they're trying to tone police me of like, you're saying this too confidently, or I don't know, because even if I give, which I, you know, usually do give some version of a disclaimer of like, it's just my opinion. Maybe there's just no way to get around those kinds of comments. But anyway, all that to say, I think that is something that as I have grown, I don't enjoy about YouTube or Booktube or being a content creator, is that I think it is, you get a lot more people who don't know you or know your content or have a history with you encountering your videos. And so you just by virtue of that end up having more frequently comments that I would deem as not valid. Like they're like, sometimes people will leave comments on like Agatha Christie reviews I've done that are like, you clearly have never read Agatha Christie or know nothing about her. And I'm like, girl, I probably have about 100 videos about Agatha Christie up on this channel by now. So like I get like more of those kinds of things that I think I can safely objectively say like, that's not a valid comment. Okay, I'm not mad at this, guys. Like this turned out okay. It's definitely yellow and green, which was what I was going for. So I get more of that. And then I also just get things that maybe are valid, but they're coming from a place of like either not being constructive or like maybe not having the full context of who I am. And I think it is very much in my personality to be a little bit of a know-it-all sometimes in terms of like, but you're not thinking about this and you're not thinking about that, which I think can be good in terms of I'm very good at doing like devil's advocate kind of stuff. Like I can always see both sides. And like when someone comes at me with something, I tend to be like, but what about this? And I think I'm getting better at just sort of letting that go. And, you know, as our mothers taught us, like if you don't have something nice to say, or in my case, I think sometimes is it really worth trying to get into a discussion about this in the comments with someone who barely watches my videos, who's commented like 5 times, and trying to give them the full context of what they're referring to, or should I just let it go? And I think I'm getting better at just like letting that go, but I think that's definitely something you kind of have to develop if you're gonna be on the booktubes for any length of time. I should also caveat that all of this is assuming that you're not a person of color. Oh, okay. I'm done with most of my eyes, by the way, right now. So now we're moving on to foundation. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. I actually don't really love this because I find that the longer you wear it, the more it oxidizes. I'm not going to have to wear this all day. It's probably why we're doing makeup playtime, is that I'm really only needing to wear this for a couple of hours. I'm fine using this one. I'm trying to use it up so that I can justify buying one of the other foundations that I like better, but I don't want to be a wasteful bitch, so I'm trying to use that up. So I think that the caveat here is that like for whatever hate or like negativity or non like positiveness that I now encounter these days is nothing compared to what creators of color in the booktube and just YouTube community in general have to deal with. So I try to always keep that perspective as well, that like I'm very lucky. And, you know, I'm also overweight. I'm fat on YouTube, and the amount of comments I get referencing that are also astonishingly low. So I try to keep in mind that in the scheme of things, I have it so easy, like compared to some of the screenshots of comments that creators of color get. Yeah, it's pretty astonishing actually. And I think, you know what I always go back to, because, you know, something that really my dad used to say a lot, and I think really has stuck with me and is like an abiding principle of how I communicate and live my life, is that there's some things that you can say that you can never take back. And so when you're disagreeing with someone or being negative or whatever, like really think through what the long-term impact of that is. I think as a result, like it's just dispositionally, like that's something that I really, really have internalized. I always think like when I'm going to leave a comment that is in any way not positive or controversial or whatever, I always like genuinely think like in a year's time, if somebody dug this up on a drama channel, which like I wish there were drama channels for BookTube, but sadly, not yet. Would I feel comfortable standing by this? Or like, would I feel like, oh, that was petty or whatever? And like 9 times out of 10, whatever comment I was gonna leave doesn't pass that sniff test, so I don't bother. And also like, I don't want to spend my day being negative or providing, like, it's not even being negative. It's like, is what I'm saying constructive? I think that's what a lot of it boils down to for me. So I think I'm also just dispositionally really just shocked anew again and again. That somebody has taken time out of their day to leave something like that, especially for people of color and creators of color on YouTube, that somebody has like enough energy or desire to be like genuinely hateful. Why did you take 2 minutes out of your lunch break today or whatever to shit on me or to shit on whoever? Like, why was that a priority for you today? I don't know. That always kind of surprises me. By the way, this is the Glossier Cloud Paint in Haze, I think. Yeah, Haze. I really like this. I only use it when I don't have to be in a rush because you gotta work with it. Yeah, anyway, I don't even know how I got on this. Oh, I think like just reflecting on kind of the ups and downs of my last 2 years, I would say that that's like one of the biggest downs, or like maybe not even that, just like something that I've had to learn how to figure out what I want to do with it, because I think at first it was hard for me to kind of orient myself into the mindset of somebody who like takes time to be rude or non-constructive about like a book review I did 11 months ago, so like whatever, like it's just like, oh, okay, so like you made that choice today. And I think that just like in terms of how I operate, that's so different than how I operate. Like if I saw a book review that I thought was utter trash and I totally disagreed with, unless they were being like rude or hateful or whatever, like I just don't see a scenario in which I would take the 2 minutes to leave a comment. But like there are plenty of people who do, apparently, is kind of what I've learned. And I think it's been hard for me to have my empathetic imagination wrap around why that's a thing. Anyway, I feel like I'm just rambling at this point about this and it's not actually that deep, so I'm gonna move on. So all that to say, it's not perfect. See, I love the cut. Like this just is really nice. And then I use some of this translucent powder to kind of set it, and it just gives you sort of like a flush from within. But the reason I'm still wearing my pajama top is because the fallout though from this translucent powder is unreal. Yeah, so that's been a big change. My booktube-ish life, I would say, in the last 6 months, just like kind of figuring out how to deal with having a lot of new people around in terms of managing new people's expectations of how I roll. Because I do think there's also like, I don't know, it's interesting. I think that some people end up having kind of a feeling of entitlement towards creators that I also am kind of trying to learn how to manage. I think one thing that I'm still like learning how to navigate or deal with or whatever is like how to manage other people's expectations of me and how I interact and how I communicate, and just kind of learning in this new context how to be comfortable setting boundaries. Like I am definitely somebody who doesn't have a problem with boundaries. And I think for social media, it's interesting because I don't know, I'm very outgoing in a lot of ways. I think that probably communicates in my videos. Like I really like people. I like interacting with new people. I like, you know, making new sort of like acquaintances on the bookish internet. Oh, this is the Fenty Matchstick in Amber. If you are a ghost like me, this is a good contour shade. I don't normally contour, but why not? We're here. You know, I definitely like people, but I'm also somebody who kind of, my friends and I always joke that I'm kind of a cat, in that I will, you know, when I'm ready, I will come and I will rub on your ankles and I will purr and I will sit in your lap. And if you're sad, I will sit on your face and purr until you stop crying. Like you know, like I can be very, I'm very affectionate and very open with the people in my circle, but I'm a cat because you can't, like, you gotta let me come to you. I think sometimes I can, like, when people try to demand my attention, that is something that I really don't respond to well, like just dispositionally. And I don't think that's something that's good about me. Like I'm not saying that it's like, ooh, that didn't, well, okay, in real life it's working a little better. It's fine. Whatever. Sometimes you have you know, Neapolitan contouring. That's fine. We're all gonna be okay with it. Anyway, sorry. So like I think I can be sometimes a little aloof, and I think when people try to demand my attention, like my instinctual response is to be like, you're not my real dad. Like, don't try to tell me what to do. And I think on social media, like, I think people, yeah, like sometimes can try to demand my attention in a way that I'm resistant to. And I'm like trying to kind of navigate that within the context of it not coming from, I think, a bad place. And also just like, I look at that somewhat as a personal failing that I react so instinctually to like, don't tell me what to do. But I think that's another challenge, is like, as I have new people coming in, and you know, I think just kind of part of how social media works, it's all about attention. And I think I'm kind of learning how to set healthy boundaries. Like I'm not somebody who has a problem with boundaries. I actually sometimes have too many boundaries. So I think I'm navigating still what it looks like on Booktube to have good personal boundaries that allow me to continue enjoy doing Booktube while also like challenging myself and knowing that this is an opportunity for me to grow in some of that. Okay, actually, that turned out okay. Cool. My very favorite highlight, especially in the summertime, is the Rodeo Drive highlight from Ofra. It fell out of its thing, so now it lives in this little Z palette. So I think that's something, like in terms of challenges, something I'm still kind of navigating and figuring out like what feels comfortable to me in terms of allowing new people in and not getting stuck in a rut, but also like, you know, maintains kind of how I feel comfortable interacting with people in something that ultimately is a hobby for me. Like, I try to set good boundaries and not allow this to be something that's ever genuinely stressful. I have yet to have a moment in my booktube-ish where something that happened was genuinely stressful to me. That's how I want to keep it. So we got the face pretty well going here, so let's finish off the eyes. Okay, I think I'm just gonna go in with this kelp cover color and blend out my lower lash line. So where are we nowadays and where are we going? Talked about where I've been and some of the ups and downs. Where am I going? I don't know. I think one thing that I need to do, and I'm struggling because I have so many ideas about videos and things to do for booktube and things I want to do, but I think if this is going to be a sustainable thing for me, I'm at 3 videos a week right now, and I think I've got to get to a place where usually I'm more like 2 videos a week, just because like I'm not burnt out now, but I will be if I don't tend to that. So I'm so proud of myself the weeks where I can just put 2 videos up. It's so hard for me though, because I have so many ideas and like I get excited about things and I'm like, but I want this to time to this. So I don't know. Anytime that you see that I've only put up 2 videos in a week, you should like know that that was a real struggle. A struggle to allow myself to just not have to try to get everything in all the time. Because like I'm writing again, and I read, and I have friends, and I date, and I have a job. Like, you know, I think that 2 videos a week is probably a more long-term sustainable situation. So I'm like moving towards that. My goal is next year to really like find my groove and just be doing 2 videos a week, but we'll see if I can get there. So that's in the future. Oh, sad. This really broke. That's really annoying. This is like brand new. Okay, so I'm using the Colourpop. Ooh, and I got this on me. Oh my gosh, it's all falling apart. No, everything's fine. Okay, this is the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in its gold color. What is it called? Dirty Talk. Meow. I'm gonna use this as my liner. I'm not gonna do a liquid line today because I just don't feel like it, and I rarely do it anymore. That's a goal that I have. Mission Marble is wrapping up, but I've already introduced what I think is gonna be a regular reviewing feature, which is my 3 isolated closed circle mystery reviews, and I've filmed 2 of those now, and I really just have fun filming those, so like I'm excited about. I've got so many ideas, and I just never, like, things that are more relevant in the moment always seem to be kind of taking over. But that said, like, I've got right now, when you guys see this, my Hunchback of Notre Dame read along is happening, so like that'll be fun. I don't know, I'm trying to like, I just put that all over the lid, but because it's gold, it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, okay, now it matches. See, that's what you do. If you mess up, just make sure it matches on both sides. I'm trying to, you know, keep things interesting for myself. That's kind of like always my goal, is if I'm having fun doing it, that's what matters. Yeah, I don't know. Things that I've found that I enjoy doing include like challenge vlog type videos. I really got inspired by a lot of what Books and Lala has done, which I think we all have, but also like Caleb at The Insane Reader. Some of those types of videos are content I really enjoy watching, and I think I've been finding ways to enjoy creating them, because a straight up reading vlog is honestly not that interesting to me to watch. I know a lot of people really like that kind of content, but for me, I've never found that very interesting. But I really like the kind of challenge vlog things. By the way, this is the Colourpop Lip Primer. This has got to be 5 years old now. So I finally ordered a new one, even though it smells fine, unlike Jaclyn Cosmetics, which went bad after, you know, allegedly 15 days, I guess, from production. This thing is still going strong, and it's my favorite lip primer anytime I'm gonna do like a liquid lipstick or whatever, which we need to figure out what color I'm gonna put on here. I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I've really enjoyed doing those, and like I've been doing more and more of them. I think you guys like them fine. I don't know that you guys like watching them as much as I like making them. But you know, again, my goal, like this is my hobby, this is my channel. If I'm not interested in what I'm doing, then why would anybody else be? And I have to keep it fun for myself. So I don't know. There's one coming out at the end of July that I've had so much fun doing, and I don't know if you guys will like it at all, but I don't care. I mean, I do care. Like, clearly I want you to like it, or else I wouldn't put it up at a public forum. But I've had so much fun doing it, and I don't know. I want to just like keep things in a place where I'm having a really good time. One thing I really appreciate about doing Booktube is that it really has made me very deliberate about having a lot of variety in what I'm reading, because like I'm aware that at some point I'm going to talk about it, and I actually really appreciate that about Booktube, because it keeps me like, I'm somebody who, like, everyone in my family has very obsessive personalities, like, which is good in some scenarios. Like, it makes me really good at my job and like whatever. But the downside is that, especially like in the context of reading, is that before I was on Booktube, I would get in like a mood and I would just be like only reading mysteries for 18 months. And then I would be like, now I'm in the mood for fantasy. And I would only read fantasy for 6 months. And I'd be like, now I'm in the mood for romance. And I would only read. But I think because I'm on here, at some level, it keeps me deliberate about keeping things fresh and like mixing things up a little bit. This shadow, by the way, this is called Pearl, and it is the chunkiest bitch ever, but she is gorgeous. Pop her in my inner corners just because I can. Ugh, I'm like afraid to dip my brush into it because it's so soft and so chunky, but it is so pretty. So I actually really appreciate that about Booktube, is that it keeps me purposely trying to mix things up. And I've enjoyed that a lot about being on here, and I want to continue to lean into that, is just like that, because I know I'm going to be talking to you guys. It gives me a constant reminder not to get stuck in a rut too much. And I think I've really enjoyed that. Like, I think being on Booktube has made me have better reading years than I would have otherwise, because I don't get into a mode where I'm just reading a ton of 3-star books just because I'm in the mood to read it. Like, it helps me keep things fresh. And I think that's like one of my biggest takeaways, is that I enjoy mixing things up for myself, keeping things fresh, and whatever I can do to kind of lean into that is well worth the effort. So this is my favorite mascara. It is the Milk Makeup Kush mascara. I think the Kush part of this is like a gimmick and a half, but it's a really nice mascara. I really enjoy it. I struggle with things flaking on me, and I find this doesn't. I also appreciate that this lengthens and builds some volume, but it doesn't get chunky, which I don't always love that kind of look. So what else is in the future for me? I don't know. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before, I'm gonna be at BookNet Fest in September. I'm really excited about that. I'm gonna get to meet some people IRL that I've been hanging out with online for a long time now. You know, stay tuned. There may be some more announcements around that, but I'm excited about that. I'm already excited about my end of the year lists. I'm already planning them. Because I'm that bitch. I just love end of the year wrap ups. That's like my favorite time to watch content on Booktube, and it's my favorite Booktube content to create. So that's exciting. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think I'm just sort of in a really good place in terms of, this is, you know, kind of bringing things full circle as we get closer to the end of this makeup look. You know, I started off my Booktube career because it was something I really needed, even if I don't think I fully knew how much I needed it at the time. I really needed it as an outlet, as a way to express myself creatively, to connect with other readers, to have a distraction during some like hard times. And now that's not so much the place I'm in. Like, my life is kind of awesome now. You know, I'm definitely still grieving. You know, it's been less than a year since my dad died, and I'm from a very close-knit family, and I was very close with him. I'm still grieving. That's hard. Work is very intense. Like, I have a very intense job. I love my job, but it takes a lot out of me. And you know, the dating scene is always its own thing. I decided to be an extra bitch today and put a second coat on, and this is going to be with the False Lash Effect Essence Mascara, which I'm only okay on, but for $4 or $5, like, you can't do much better. So, you know, it's not like my life is perfect, like, certainly not, but overall, like, I'm in the city I want to be in for the foreseeable future. I love my friends. I'm near my family. I find my work really fulfilling. This is an extremely fulfilling creative hobby for me. I'm writing again, which is very fulfilling. So like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in a much happier place now than I was when I started this channel. And I think that this channel has been an instrumental part of me getting to a happier place in terms of like a coping mechanism or like an outlet or whatever. So like, I'm just really thankful for it. And I'm really thankful for you guys. And you know, there's downsides about this as your hobby. It is a lot of work. It's a very work intensive hobby, but it's really fun. And it's, right now at least, it's still totally worth the effort that it takes for me to do it. And so long as that is the case, I will continue to do it. And, you know, I can't really foresee a time, you know, I might get to a point where I just don't have enough time to do like a super regular schedule. Like I can see a path in which that might happen, but I can't really imagine a time where I wouldn't at least be posting like a haul, a mid-month check-in, and a wrap-up. Like I guess I can't really see right now a time where I wouldn't be posting, let's say, one video a week. I think that that's pretty good news 2 years in, right? I mean, a lot of people have lost steam by now. I brought a few different lip options. Guys, I'm actually pretty happy with how this turned out, especially considering I didn't really know what I was doing going into it. I just had a vague idea. This is an ultra, so in terms of how I pick lip colors, by the way, I either like to do monochromatic. So like if I have like a brown eyeshadow, often I will do a brown lip, or pink, purple, red, orange, whatever. For this, I don't have a wearable green or yellow lip. So I will often do sort of complementary colors, and a complementary color to yellow is purple, and the complementary color to green is pink. So I was trying to find some purpley pinks or pinky purples in my collection. So I found this one from Colourpop. It's called Thursday. So that might work. That's kind of bright. This is called Staying Alive from NARS. Ooh, I really like this, but it's a glossy kind of situation and I'm going out, so I don't know about that. This is my favorite liquid nude. Ooh, that might be the way to go. You know, I'm gonna start with, I think if I wasn't, I am gonna have to leave the house. If I was just gonna film, I think I would wear these. Considering I'm just running around today, meeting people for lunch and doing errands, probably not what I need to do. So I'm gonna start and see. This is called Lumiere from Colourpop. I've got a lot of Colourpop in here for some reason. And this is like a mauvey pinky purple that's more on the nude side than those other two. So let's see. Yeah, I think that'll be nice. Okay, that's like the nude version of a pinky purple. What was I even saying? Oh, I think I was saying that, like, yeah, considering I'm 2 years into this, the fact that I don't necessarily see an endpoint to it, and like am still excited to do it and still enjoy my time on here with you guys, like, I think that's a pretty good sign. This is some of the worst lipstick application I've done in quite some time, probably because I was trying to talk while doing it. Yeah, okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm going to Sephora later. I hope they don't judge okay but not excellent makeup skills. I always feel like the girls at Sephora judge me. Also, this is already oxidizing. You can tell, like, I don't love that. I'm gonna blend into my neck a little bit more. Yeah, so like, I'm really happy doing this, guys. Like, I enjoy it. You guys make this so fun, so thank you. 99.5% of people I engage with through this Booktube channel are nothing but incredibly kind, supportive, and make my life happier that day. And I'm so thankful for that. That is wonderful. So yeah, like, it's just human nature, I feel like, that we always are aware of or focus on some of the negatives more. Yeah, this is like not a great color match for me, is I think what this boils down to. This is the lightest shade in this foundation. I mean, this is better. People like to go darker in there. I really don't like I don't like feeling like my foundation is too dark. So this'll get the job done, but I don't love this. This is part of good reminder of why I don't necessarily really love this foundation. I think I need to start relegating this to just filming, because on camera this isn't so bad, but in real life. Okay. But yeah, you guys make this so fun. I'm so thankful for you guys. I'm at 6,000 subscribers, 6,100 subscribers, I think, as of this filming. And I just hit 1,000 followers on Instagram. I am going to do a giveaway, by the way, for that. I think when you guys are seeing this, I'll probably be in the next week or two. I think I mentioned this in my June wrap up too. I'm just going to start running all of my giveaways through Instagram, because doing it through YouTube is such a pain in the ass, and like, I just don't feel like dealing with it. But you guys can look for that, and that's sort of a superficial way to express my gratitude, but genuinely, like, you guys just make this such a fun community for me. You make this a really fun hobby. I love hearing your recommendations and your feedback. And like I was saying, I think one of the saddest things to me about the fact that I have so many more of you now is that I don't get to kind of like really build up the same level of rapport that I used to. I try really hard, but it's just, I know it's not as good as it used to be. That's just part of having more people around. But I do my best. Like, I kind of pick 2 or 3 days a week to catch up on comments, and I really do. I read every single comment. I appreciate well, I don't appreciate every single comment, but as we were discussing earlier, but like, you know, I take in every comment that is not spam or hate. And I appreciate the engagement and appreciate that people have any kind of response to something that I've put out in the world. it's not, I mean, I'm not saying that YouTube is like the height of art or the height of creativity or whatever. It is something that is creative. It is something that takes time, effort, and whatever to produce and put out. And the fact that people watch it and have a response to it is just like fucking cool. So yeah, I think that's where I would say I am 2 years into this crazy project that we call Booktube. I'm excited about it still. I'm thankful for you guys, and I am rambling my ass off at this point. So this is the finished look. Oh, I should probably, I don't always use this thing, but it's hot as fuck. Thank you, global warming. So if you don't set your shit down here, it will be sweated off of you in no time flat. So, hey guys, sorry, just a quick intercut before I let you go. I have been out and about for probably 8 hours now, and I have to say, like, I mean, I have a crease right here, so it always crinkles up a little bit, but I am incredibly impressed with how well this held up. So in terms of like reviewing those palettes, like it seemed really, for colorful shadows, held its pigment really well. It didn't do like the crusty bally up thing that sometimes colored shadows like this can do, like really noticeably. So just FYI. I mean, my lower lash line is pretty much gone, but that's pretty typical. So anyway, little side note for product review purposes. I think that will pretty much do it for me for right now. So this is the finished look. If I get my act together, I'll try to list out at least everything that I used on my face in the comments. I mentioned this before, I'll mention it again since this is a makeup-y thing. I am now putting my lipstick that I'm wearing in every video in the comments, just because I get so many questions about that, and I often check in people's comments if they have something like a lipstick that I really like. Or side note, shout out to a book Olive. Olive has like the best blush highlighter game on Booktube. It's sometimes that she has those beautiful apples to her cheeks. Like she just has those like textbook, just like round, beautiful cheeks. So that's some of it. And I'm sure some of it is her lighting, but she is just glowing in her videos. And every time I'm like, can you please post your blush and highlighter combo for us, please? Cause like sometimes, like today the lighting's okay. So like I've got okay glow happening, but Olive is just always radiant. And I'm like, please post it. So anyway, I'm trying to respect the fact that I often want to know what people's lipstick or whatever is. So I am now putting lipstick every video in the comments. But today, because this was a whole makeup thing, I'll try to remember to put all of the products in the thing below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this rambly ass video, and I think that will do it. So if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, follow me on the social medias if you are so inclined. I have all that information listed in the description box below, and I will talk to you later.